Good. Good stuff. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't. Well, they change it twice a year, every time, so I changed it to my daughter one time. But you gotta have some you apply for you. Yeah. Well, you gotta, this, my son was just, he's in my dog. They're all Southwest ones. Yeah. That's I think we're ready. No, what did you say? Oh, was Bitcoin? No. You didn't know. You've been watching that? A little bit of college. No. I'm really told you I got to. Oh, so if I can get one big. So many. It's like it's a story that it's not this good. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. If we could get this meeting started.
All right, everybody, thank you for coming today. This is our annual little budget overview for your, let's see, how do I, there we go. What we're gonna do this year is we're gonna go to, as we've done in the past, go department by department. Each department, we're gonna review the 2025 projects and goals and give you an update. We're gonna look at our 2026 budget challenges and our priorities, as well as our 2026 goals. We'll bring to some cost savings and revenue generation and conclude with questions, although if you have questions throughout the presentation, please feel welcome to speak up. All right, our first slide, 2025 status. I'm gonna read because I can't see over Chief Tickle's head, so make my life.
It's rather large.
Instead of doing, no, stay where you're at, that way we're not having meeting. So for the town of Munster, the 2025 goals, an update is we wanted to have stability in leadership, and we wanted to prioritize how hiring qualified staff. And we hired a permanent town manager, and we hired a head of public works. So that was, we can say that has been accomplished. We want to continue our investments in both our infrastructure and public safety. And we want to continue our efforts to grow our net assessment through the development, increase our net assessed value, overcome the circuit breaker losses, and then explore our options as far as economic development and the TOD and TBD. The challenges we're seeing in 2026, number one is SEA 1. We also have the challenge of, we've always had circuit breaker losses. We expect this to be a little higher in 2026, so we're planning for that. And then we need to continue our economic development and continue and grow our net assessed value.
Can I ask about growing net assessed valuation. It normally grows 2 or 3% each year, just by cost of living, cost of reassessments type things, right?
Yes.
It grows based on how they, but the assessments and that whole
Okay.
process.
So we're trying to grow more than what our normal growth of assessed valuations are, is what you're trying to say.
That's what we'd like to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Our town priorities, again, related to SEA one, fiscal responsibility, infrastructure improvements, as well as public safety. Infrastructure, we want nice roads, safe streets, spotless Munster, you know, our residents like no weeds, they like, no potholes, they like snow plowed, and they don't want to leak on the street, so
They want a beautiful town.
they want a beautiful town. This is an old version, Jim. I thought there was something, I gotta find a different version. Yep, sorry, we gotta. I don't know how to,
That's the one that, we got on the network.
I didn't have one on the network. This isn't it. Sorry. I thought we were sharing something else. Shoot. Well, talk amongst yourselves, let me go grab it on the flash drive and pop it in. Oh, but then I don't have your changes. I emailed it to.
That's the one we got 1:30 today? Which is something.
No, that's, I think that's. the one
I didn't-
that was, So disregard this one.
Well, so far, I mean, so far we're
So
fine.
far, it's right, that's
Right.
fine.
I noticed one of the slides I updated and I thought, okay, I'm gonna keep rolling with this. But then the next slide had a big thing that said, update this, and we updated it this morning, and so I knew it was
Yeah,
incorrect.
because you didn't mention butterflies anyway.
I thought it was all in the share drive, so.
I wanted to take the opportunity, Friday, 9 o'clock, we're doing the groundbreaking at the Bridges Over Ditches project, so just as a reminder, if you're coming, it's gonna be on the Highland side, so that's where Lincoln Street, where Lincoln Center is at, the other side, what we call
Family Express.
Family Express, the gas station there. If you're on the Boulevard, turn on Family Express, go down to a dead ends, that will be right where we'll be at, so that's at 9 o'clock. We'll have some, I'm not sure who Highland's inviting, I think they've invited both their park board and their council. Obviously, our interlocal is between town council in Munster and the park board in Highland. We're leaving it up to them, to whoever wants to speak, but we'll be there. SCH will have a few little refreshments and so forth, but
But it's the Highland side over on the
it'll
ground.
be the Highland side.
Yeah. Right.
Uh, Gary up is the general contractor on that. They're gonna put a load of sand there. They're bringing the shovels, and the hard hats and all that. So more of a photo op than anything, but just if you're able to come. That's where, I didn't want to have someone on the other side and walk all the way from White Oak down and be like, oh, you're on the other side of the bridge or
Are you prepared to at least give a tentative schedule of completion or construction schedule?
The hope is to have it around, I'd say my Memorial Day of next year is to have it.
Okay, okay.
So that's ultimately the schedule we're after.
And it's mainly the bridge construction, the pre-construction of the bridge, that's the problem.
Pre-construction.
Or is it?
40 weeks lead time for the bridges, so that order's been placed already, so that's the biggie.
Is there a manufacturer of that? Do you know the name? It's
It's
not a
not
big deal.
off the top of my head. It should have, I think it's on there somewhere.
It's not.
Alex will know it. Alex Garrett will be there. Hold on for sure.
Is Alex Brown invited?
I told Tim Diamond from Highland to extend an invitation to Alex. Retired right before the fact.
I'll grab my house right back.
Jim, your updates on it. I don't know what you updated just this afternoon.
That's fine, it was just a couple of emails.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
No. Hi, chief, how are you? Want to work? You, right? Looks different on yours.
No
It
handout
was-
to you.
This was updated,
Look at this.
Right here.
It was sent to us.
and then I added dividers like this.
Oh,
And so that's, I noticed
okay.
this I changed before I sent it to,
This
And then-
one you had,
if it says updated,
that's
it
what
means
I
to
had.
be updated. That's what it meant. So,
That was the most recent one.
no,
It all worked out.
no.
Once they say.
There we go.
Yeah.
And hopefully. I can't be feeling off.
All right. Thank you for your patience as we had many versions of this going around, so I appreciate everybody being in there. This is, this slide, if it says, if you're looking at a version that says updated, that means it needed to be updated, and this is the correct actual numbers. So this is, where we stand in really was 8 funds, 9 funds, how many are there? 4, 9 funds. It shows our projected cash balance at the beginning of 2026, what we expect to receive in receipts, what our projected disbursements, and then our estimated cash ending balance in 2026.
Are those receipts just property tax receipts?
All
All
receipts,
receipts.
all receipts.
Okay.
The slide, this slide is fine, it's in your packet, is fine. That one was definitely needed to be updated, so. This revenue stream, what you're looking at here is the last few years, 4 years prior, actual numbers. The blue is, the budgeted amount from 2025, and then our green is actual year to date. What we'd like to see here is the green to be about half of what the blue is. It means we're on track as far as revenue, revenue, taking revenue in. You'll note the last column is, the last column is miscellaneous revenue. It is less than half, but it's not unusual for us to get more money in the second half of the year from miscellaneous revenues. And it's a timing issue. All right, now we get into, sorry, I'm so excited to get into the departments. This is our budgeted revenue, and when I compared our budgeted revenue to actual at the 6-month mark, it was like 0.3% difference. So I left this up here. This is what we budgeted for. This shows you our property tax here in blue, your tip revenue here, and then about 25% of our revenues is made up of all these other things, pet licenses, which is less than 1%, auto excise, riverboat sharing, opioid settlement. That's what all of this is.
But this is total funds,
Total revenue that we're.
total revenue
That
across
we're
all our funds.
Yes, it's all the money we bring in. Okay? Now the police department. So in 2025, the police department had two projects that they were working on. One was onboard officers and the second was to reorganize their department. They're continuing to onboard officers and they've completed the reorganization of the department. Their goals were to hire a social worker to make enhancements of their station. And they're working with the update surprise is they're working with Highland to update the facility to handle more stray animals. The social worker's been hired. Jessica's doing a great job. Happy to have her. The station enhancements, they did do quite a bit of rearranging to accommodate additional officers, but there's more work to be done. They're crowded. So that's why it's marked as in progress. 2026, the budget challenges and priorities. Their challenges are they need to maximize the number of authorized officers, ongoing vehicle expenses. Their priorities are to sustain the quality of their police force and vests, keeping those vests, officers in their vests is important. Their goals, station upgrades, a larger animal facility, security cameras at and near the train stations, and an auto replacement schedule for the next 5 to 10 years. Public Works. Public Works in 2025, they had some road works projects they wanted to get done. They are in progress, as many of us have seen them actually in progress. The water tank enhancement, all that we're doing to the water tanks. We have a nice schedule going there. It's an ongoing lead line replacement, ongoing water main replacement prioritized by System Act. We were working on that. Sewer lining, that's a 2025 projects, and onboard a director of operations, which we can say is successful and has been completed. So we like seeing that.
Question, road work in progress. What about Harrison? Why isn't that on here?
They forgot it.
Yeah,
Okay, that's all.
look at this, I have a pencil.
It's one of them, no.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm just penciling it down, Harrison. All right. So in 2026, Public Works. Oh, sorry.
No, we got
We
more.
got more goals. Those were projects, these were goals. And as you can see, I don't need to read this for you. You can see it. A lot of this has been accomplished. They've deemed the sewer check valve program was deemed not to be necessary. The sewer maintenance program ongoing. So we're in good shape there as far as our goals for the Public Works Department in all three areas. In 2026, the challenges are unexpected issues from large water and sewer lines. We ran into that on Broadmoor. You never know when those things are going to happen. Budget challenge, streets, we want to keep them safe and well maintained. Priorities, again, streets, can't say streets enough. Water main replacements, lead line, another big one. And then there's an RFP for engineering and other professional services, SEH, Midwestern Electric, a few other of our key vendors. And they'd like to review the programs and update our town ordinances for rear yard drainage, sidewalk replacement, and tree removal. One of their 2026 goals is asphalt repair, including bike paths and alley repairs, and then have a fully developed water meter replacement schedule / program. Quit making those noises, because I look, I'm like, okay, ask your question.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, part of this goes back to, it'll be up in the park one too. They talk about bike paths.
You're gonna see bike paths in park.
And
Yeah.
part of this is, again, most of the bike paths, especially offline, are majorly bad right now. They're 20 years old. And again, thinking about those as on a replacement schedule, I think if it's park or public works or a combination, I think it makes a lot of sense because they're not patchable. A lot of the spots aren't patchable anymore. They have to be replaced. And again, it is one of those things where you get grant money to begin with, but there's no grant money to resurface or to redo those things. So, having that in mind is a good thing. So I do appreciate that thought in this and it goes in with the park department too, but again, it's coordination, so we're not planning the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
That's good.
And some things came up in the park board meeting, didn't they? The other opportunities maybe for that. So I mean, that's definitely something we want to get accomplished. It's the how.
Yeah.
Community development. Their goals, they wanted a kiosk station outside, where their customer service counter. We're working on that. We're talking about the feasibility of it. They want to just secure their employee workspace by having a door installed. Well, we gave them a half door, so congratulations on your half door. And then eliminate multitasking. The planning director needed a new computer, and so we got a new computer, so it's the challenges in the community development, zoning code update, their priorities, zoning code update. They also would like some updated workstations for their inspectors, more efficient workspace for them. They would like more efficient vehicles for their inspectors as well. What they're using right now doesn't necessarily meet their needs. And they'd like to look at road impact fees. They, again, prior goal is to get those policies and zoning code updated, review and update their fee schedule. And then another goal for them is board education for the plan commission and BCA.
Road impact fees, how much did St. John make?
Quite a bit,
Yeah, we don't talk. No, I think they made close to about 2 million for 6 weeks. Their concern was that developers wouldn't build, but they kept building.
Yeah, they didn't stop.
They didn't stop.
Beautiful. But are those a development fee or is it a real estate transfer fee?
Those are are attached to the building permit based on the use. It's all land use based on the travel demands that would be generated by that use. And they're imposed upon the developer, then it comes out of there.
So there's a little bit of concern comparing the development of St. John.
Oh, yeah.
To the development of potential development of Munster. Yeah, because, and that very, the other thing that is a fee that's very much in the old framework of the town is land and cash or land and cash donations for parks and recreation facilities for development, for new development. We're at probably $20,000 or $30,000 an acre in Munster, but again, a lot of time that's been overlooked in the last 15, 20 years because there's no land to develop. But that is another fee. That is something that if we ever do get something that's unusual, that's another fee that's very, very outdated. So.
I was gonna say though, also you don't wanna leave money on the table. If we need to look at impact fees and that's what other communities are doing, I think we should add it. Granted, it's gonna be based on what is developed and how many things happen. But if somebody comes in and redevelops a piece of the property area, there's a possibility of an impact fee. I mean, I just don't want to leave money on the table.
I understand.
500,000, it may not be 2 million, but I'll take 500.
Even if it's 250,
250.
whatever, let's
You're absolutely.
collect it.
I won't take.
All right. Parks, they were on to parks. They wanted to add three new positions. They filled 2 of the 3. Determine the fate of the Centennial Park Clubhouse, that's in progress. Implement the master plan for the Parks and Recreation Department, that's in progress. And a success they've had in 2025 already is the installation and operation of the gas to energy generator at the landfill. So someday we'll have a ribbon cutting up there. It's like, no, I'm done with ribbon cutting. All right.
So that generator's running?
Yep.
Producing electricity?
Yes,
Great.
Who are you guys using to develop that master plan?
HWC engineering did that plan.
It's done and it's on the website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we approved it last fall.
Yeah.
2024.
It started in 2025.
So
But it was done in late 2024, so 25 is what it's.
Master plan is
Okay. All right, so on to 2026 for the Parks Department. Their budget challenges, of course, the Centennial Park Clubhouse, the staffing, as well as staffing in a succession planning, aging infrastructure, and continuing to meet the residents' recreational needs. Priorities, just maintaining the park, including updating the shelters and the clubhouse. The clubhouse is as you can see, is on there as both a challenge, a priority, and a goal. And then as a goal, the bike path repave, again, in coordination with our public works department. Time for a dance break.
Yep.
Fire department. Their goals, again, a big success for them is provide more public outreach events, which they've been doing very well with. Replacing all the lightning detection units, that's in progress. And then placing the ambulance in service, with staffing of 4, and that's something that we're still discussing. In 2026, budget challenges, fire station not meeting requirements. By that, it's the structure of the building, it doesn't meet the space. And then another challenge they have is aging equipment.
Point of clarification, fire station 2 is the Fisher Street
Fisher
station.
Street.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's all. I just get confused.
Yeah, it's. Okay. Their priority is to replace their aerial truck, and their goals are staffing and EMS ambulance services. The Clerk Treasurer's Office. Our goals in 2025 were to have a permanent town manager, develop and.
Wait, is he acclimated yet?
Oh, yes, he is. He is acclimated and ready to go, whether he wants to be or not. Develop a 3, 5, and 10-year infrastructure capital plan, which we're working on. It's an ongoing, rolling, and implement a fair and equitable pay structure for non-sport employees, and that was taken care of as well. In 2026, you'll see more SCA1 as our biggest budget challenge. And then expenditures not budgeted or foreseen, very much like public works. All of a sudden you get into, you start moving along and something comes along, we'll find a way to pay for it. It's just gives Trish and I gray hair. Priorities, SCA1. And looking at SCA1 and how it's going to impact us, and then succession plan. Our goals in 2026, we'd like to look at the total compensation and benefits for our employees and see where we stand there. We want to monitor the impact of SCA1 and then continue our education and training, which is required by state. Town manager. His challenges, SCA1, and then funding after the TIP expires. Priority is coordinating the review of fees for across all departments, a funding plan, implementing the cost savings and revenue options. And his goals are hire a town manager staff, get that strategic plan operational, communication plan operational, review and update all of our policies, many of which have not been touched since the 70s, and then activate town economic development. All right, now this is where we might be, where Jim and I may not have coordinated our slides. So 2026 budget recommendations, shift all police first-class patrol payroll from the general fund to the TIP fund. And this will give a reduction in the general fund of $6.5 million. We want to review and assess the cost saving strategies. We are projecting the first year that will save approximately $300,000, and then move forward with some revenue generating strategies, including the food and beverage and local income tax. Finally, review and assess our personnel costs, including compensation and benefits. This is where we go to questions, and then I'm going to go to Jim's. How to get out of this. Escape on your keyboard there. See if that'll bring us back to And now we can go to. Where's the shared drive that we had? This is the jump drive that I popped in. So where would you like to go from here, Jen?
Wendy, I have a question for you before you.
Yep, you're fine, Jonathan.
Said project, if you're going to shift police department first class payroll from general fund to tip.
Yeah.
What exactly?
Rochelle, could you,
The TIF fund would cover those expenses, those payroll expenses. Would be funded by the TIF fund.
100% of the police?
100%.
Just the patrol,
first class
the
patrol,
first class, it's not first class patrol officers, it's officers who are assigned to a specific program within the police budget, which is what you think of generally as patrol officers. Those that are in the cops unit, admin, investigation, they stay in the general fund. It would be the patrol, that patrol program that would move to the TIF fund.
Why?
In order to cover the cost of it,
the general,
because the general fund can't support it based on what comes through on SDA one.
What is the balance?
The balance of the general fund right now, I mean,
No, I'm sorry. 2025, what was the total amount? Of revenue?
I've
you don't
got
have to
this.
separate it. I
No,
can,
I
I can fill it up separately.
I have 30,000 foot understanding that the general fund 2025 is about $9 million, right?
Yes, those were, I think that was the number. Let me get it so I can,
Are you getting that off the gateway?
I'm pulling it off of the budget reports that we use in BSNA, our software.
Would Gateway be a source for that?
You could look in Gateway, those were the estimates that were made about a year ago, based on the assumptions of what we thought might come in, what we were asking for in terms of property tax. The number that I'm looking at now is the number that finally came through, and that it's estimated at $9.1 million. Would be the revenues that would come in
That's 2025.
for 2025.
Where are you projecting the land in 2026?
If we include
what we're projecting in the general fund, the cash balance of 2.7.
2.7 at the end of the year, 14 million in receipts in 26, assuming that TIF is funding that portion of payroll.
Before, I wanted,
Then this number becomes 7. Yeah, because that number gets reduced by 6 million,
Yeah.
by 6.5 million, so that becomes 8.2 million for next year.
the drop is about 900,000. Now, last year, when we approved police salary increase, there's controversy in the council meetings, how the town is going. Suggestions we could afford. We had a conversation, Dave Nellens, about how we're gonna pay for the police salary. There's recognition that the whole amount couldn't be paid out of the general fund, but there were LIT funds that were gonna continue to fund that. Is that still the case?
LIT fund is paying for the body cameras,
What else is it?
crossing guards. Those are the two main expenses out of it.
When we talked, you said that the LIT was gonna pay a substantial portion of those police salaries. That was my recollection.
And that was the plan at the time, but the situation changed.
It's changed.
What's changed is the body cameras came in. We used the general fund to the best of our ability last year in an attempt to preserve those LIT funds. So when the body camera thing, or the new, well, last year when the bill came due, we used it portion for that, for Axon. And now with the new body cameras coming in, that contract payment will come out of LIT next year.
All right, let me cover this. in this direction, please. What's the all-in projection for the police department next year?
So for all, across all the funds, we're looking at 17 million. I think that's double counting the, what we call, so that would have to drop by 6.5, so 11 million, 10.5, 11 million.
How much of that is already historically been accounted for by the LIT?
For payroll, it was normally around 600,000.
So I guess I come back to this. 11 million police, general funds dropped to 8 million. That's a $3 million. Pickup. Why are we moving 6.5 to the tip?
That's the maximum worst case scenario that would happen. By putting the budget together this way, if the worst case happens, we are prepared for it. When the budget comes through, when we get certified next year, we will not immediately start pulling $6.5 million from TIF to support police. We will continue as we have been. Come April, May, when we know the true impact of the TIF, or I'm sorry, of the SAA 1 and the circuit breakers, at that point, we will sit down, we'll look at it again and determine what is the way that we have to move to proceed. This though lets us address whatever happens.
We could come back later and then get this tip money.
I'm not sure what you mean by amend and get
You
TIF
can
money.
amend the budget at later point. Don't get the tip money.
Yes,
And you mean we can go and get more tip money, or we can reduce the amount that we take out of tip? Is that the question?
Or we could go get, if we were not to allocate the tip money now, but we needed it halfway through the year, we could amend the budget to go and get it.
we would do an additional appropriation.
And it's something that DLGF doesn't require us to project right now.
Correct.
So the total budget for the police department is $11 million. What's our total budget for the town?